How to plan a wedding. First requirement for a wedding is to have a willing bride and groom. Then have a small army. For any of us that have gone through this wedding reception process, we all know someone has to be the general and rally the troops. I am a wedding photographer, and you'd be surprised at how many times I get pulled in as the wedding planner. There are so many things to remember, and help is always appreciated. The first suggestion I can give anyone is to have a checklist. One way to keep the cost down is when and where is the wedding or reception going to be held? What is the color theme? What kind of food will be served? What kind of cake? Chocolate? Red velvet? How about a pineapple upside down cake? What style of clothing? How about a modern day, a vintage, or even a classic look? Now for that difficult decision. Who are you going to choose for your best man and bridesmaids? These are just a few of the important details that need to be addressed when planning a wedding. The first question that needs to be asked when planning a wedding is, what is your budget? According to the Frugal Dad website, weddings can cost as much as $27,000. Honestly, that's more than I paid for my car. The best way to keep within your budget is to decide when and where the wedding is going to be held. According to Lindsay Landman of the website The Knot, traditional weddings are held in a place of worship that holds some significance to the couple, but overall, it is the couple's choice where the wedding will take place. For the bride and groom, will it be a temple wedding? How about a destination wedding? Tropical Tahiti, the Caribbean? Or would you prefer to stay closer to home and have the wedding in a local church or at a park? This is something you need to plan before setting the date. The time of year and weather are something that need to be considered when picking the location for your wedding and reception. Planning a reception can be the most stressful part of the wedding celebration. When planning a reception, it's all about location, location, and location. Okay, so not really, but it is a fun thought. The reception is where you get to show off your theme and sense of style. What type of decorations suit your personality? Fabulously chic, modern design, outdoor rustic, or how about a classic vintage style? Decorations should show off your color and theme, and don't forget the table centerpiece and the gift table. Many wedding customs and traditions are steeped in superstition. For instance, the wedding cake. Flavored wedding cakes are not just desserts to be served to guests during the reception. Tradition states the wedding cake is cut together by the couple during the wedding reception. Then the husband and wife exchange bites of the cake. This is the first act the couple does together as husband and wife. In ancient Rome, the wedding cake was a loaf of bread. The cake was broken over the bride's head, and the guests would then scramble to pick up the crumbs. Modern-day superstition states that good luck will come to those who can bring home the crumbs of the wedding cake. Putting crumbs of a wedding cake under one's pillow will make a guest dream of their future spouse. Crumbs are also believed to enhance fertility, according to the American Wedding Traditions and Customs. Now, according to custom, wedding dresses are usually believed to be white or ivory, as this symbolizes purity. This is actually a newer superstition, as white was started to be worn as the wedding dress only during the Victorian age. At that time, white was worn as an announcement of affluence, because white dresses were only worn once. A typical wedding dress can cost as much as up to $5,000. But if that price tag does not fit into your budget, there are many other beautiful dresses to be found at a fraction of the cost. Another custom is the bride's wedding veil. The purpose of the bride wearing a veil dates back to the Middle Ages, when people believed evil spirits were around to try and ruin the wedding ceremony. The bride wore a veil to cover her face so evil spirits would not know she was the bride. Likewise, bridesmaids were made part of the ceremony to surround the bride so evil spirits would be confused about who the actual bride was and leave. Many couples today still honor these customs, but use the veil to hide the bride's face until it is first revealed to her groom. The bridesmaids are chosen to help the bride celebrate her happy day. Now that we've planned the wedding and found the dress, the next most important step is documenting the wedding. The photographer or videographer is one part of the wedding you don't want to skip on. I personally have heard stories of many people saying, I don't have to worry about it. My friend or relative is going to take the pictures. They have a nice camera. Honestly, it makes me want to cringe. I have heard too many couples that do not have pictures from their wedding because they did not hire a professional. It is worth the money. Check with a local photographer and see what kind of package deal they offer. Ask what is available for the engagement pictures, the bridal sitting, and your wedding photos. I highly advise splurging and getting a professional photographer and videographer. It is the best way to document your special day. Photos keep forever and will become a treasured heirloom to pass on to your children. Now you've hired the photographer, you've had the engagement pictures taken, it's time to figure out what type of announcements to send out. With today's technology, announcements have come a long way. Announcing a wedding originally started in the 12th century. People would walk down the streets of the city announcing their wedding as loud as they possibly could, and anyone that could hear the announcement was automatically invited to the wedding. Today's wedding invitations can include photos, beautiful typography, and a wide variety of different paper styles. Now that the invitations are ordered, the wedding venue has been picked, the wedding photographer chosen, and the wedding attire fitted. Check to make sure we still have a bride and groom after all this planning. Now we are ready to finish. Don't forget to thank the small army it took to help with the decorating of the wedding and reception. Everything is beautiful, and you are now ready for the perfect wedding. The one thing everyone needs to remember when planning something this big. As Murphy's Law states, anything that can go wrong will. The key is not to stress. A wedding and reception is the perfect place to celebrate the marriage of two people in love.